Oh, hey everybody, Sol here. I have only one rule here. If it's animated, I'll comment on it. And I'm in a bit of a melancholy mood today. I mean, it's November, it's pouring rain outside, and you in America just elected a complete dipshit into office, so things are a little bit grim in the world of Sol today. So I was playing a melancholy tune just to try and pick my spirits up. And that probably wasn't the best idea. And earlier today I was watching movies to try and pick my spirits up too, and to be honest, watching a movie like The Suicide Shop probably wasn't the best idea either. But I guess I'll just have to make the best of my decisions, won't I? Le Magasin des Suicides, aka The Suicide Shop, is a French animated movie that is based on the novel of the same name written in 2006 by Jean Toulet. The film was distributed in France by ARP Selection in 2012 and is considered to be a box office bomb due to the film not even making half of its budget back after release. That's disappointing. It's always sad when people's hard work doesn't pay the bills in the end. Why do you think I stopped trying to be a genius violin player and started making silly internet videos? Well, probably because I can't actually play the violin. But anyway, let's get good and depressed with a look at Le Magasin des Suicides. Alright, so stop me if you've heard this plot before, okay? In France, in a city where the cost of living is extraordinarily high, the suicide rate is subsequently just as high, if not higher. People are killing themselves left, right, and center, but suicide is illegal in the public streets, so what are these potential corpses to do to effectively shuffle off this mortal coil? Why, stop by the suicide shop, of course, which supplies all their common, everyday killing themselves needs. Things are good for the proprietors of the shop Mishima and Lucrèce Tuvauche, and their two children Marilyn and Vincent, until their third child is born, who, in a constantly depressed and suicidal world, is always smiling and laughing, much to the chagrin of his family. Hey, you didn't stop me. Oh, right, you know why? Because this plot is literally bursting at the seams with potential. Hell, with a concept like this, it could be a black comedy, a drama, or a meditative thought piece on the existential nature of life and death and those who provide a bridge between the two. The possibilities are endless! So what does this movie do with that highly ambitious plot? Well, nothing, sadly. Or, well, it does something, but it's really unclear as to what. It seems to have no tangible plot progression and can't stay focused for very long on any one point or character. Oh, that's really sad, to let an idea go to waste like that. Well, maybe the characters will fill up the gaps in potential here. The protagonist, sort of, is Alan Tuvauche, the youngest son of the Tuvauche family, who was born as the White Sheep, always smiling, trying to cheer people up and stop people from killing themselves. Alan he's kind of impossible to describe. Not because he's a deep or thought-provoking character or anything like that, he's just happy. All the time. But I can't tell if he's like that because he's dumber than everyone or smarter than everyone, if he knows his family hates him or if he doesn't, if he's sexually attracted to his older sister or not, or if he actually stops people from shopping at the store or not. Alan is a complete mystery to me, but I'd hesitate to call him a bad character. He doesn't just sit around moping about everyone else moping, he tries to change things for the better. Also, he's not irritating to watch, so I will say he gets my approval. Then there's Mishima Tuvauche, the head of the Tuvauche household who runs the suicide shop alongside his wife. Mishima is a bit of a skeevy salesman when it comes to hawking his deathly wares, but the toll of being a daily dealer of Demise weighs on his shoulders more so than his confident appearance would have you believe. Belying the fact that he wants to murder his son for smiling all the time, I quite like Mishima. I feel this movie is at his best when he's just selling his wares, interacting with customers, and just being generally personable. Same goes for his wife Lucrèce Tuvauche, who isn't winning any Mother of the Year awards by any means, but she still has a likable energy to her when she's showing off all that her store has to offer. The other kids in the Tuvauche family, Vincent and Marilyn, are just kinda there and have no real charisma or intrigue like the others. But they're serviceable, neither bad nor good, though it's a bit weird when Marilyn starts dancing in the nude. Not that I'm complaining or anything like that, it's just out of place. Interestingly, even though this movie only has 5 main characters, I still feel like there are too many characters. I know that's kinda strange, but I feel like this movie could have benefited if it just focused on Mishima and Lucrèce, who are assuredly the most interesting characters. Having Alan be so happy all the time lends the film a somewhat unrealistic air that doesn't really mix well with the black comedic overtones it has. But I digress. He's part of the story, and I'll just have to live with it. Or not. You know what? I think I actually left my noose around here somewhere. Where did I put that thing at? Now, in regards to the good things this movie dishes out, I have to say that the visuals are very striking and impressive. It's unconventional, but it's gorgeous in its own way. The background designs are fabulously dank, dim, and dismal, and the character designs are stylized and memorable. One could argue that Mishima looks too much like Gomez from the Addams Family, but that was live action, so I don't feel it's much of a ripoff. The overall motif this movie has is like a trifecta of Professor Layton, those weird pigs from Wander Over Yonder, and the interactive adventures of Dog Mendonça and Pizza Boy. It's a video game. Look it up. So, if nothing else, this movie will stick with you purely by its visual pleasures. Also, this film teaches us an important lesson, and that is
that suicide is funny!
Now, let's be real here. When I say suicide is funny, I mean only in a fictional sense. I personally hold on to the belief that if you're having suicidal thoughts, you should seek immediate help, and that the stigma around talking about your feelings needs to be dispelled immediately. But I also believe that the continued sustaining of sentient life in its current form is so ludicrously impossible based on the odds of your conception being about 600 million to 1 that you would arrive on this mortal plane exactly the way you are, is more than enough reason to never ever take your own life. But if I'm being honest with myself, I do find the whole concept of suicide amusing, since as we all know, the root of all comedy is suffering. This movie does take a darkly comedic slant on the whole concept of killing oneself, and I must admit that it is funny, and never does it cross the line from being funny to being insulting, which isn't always an easy task. In addition, despite having such a bleak outlook on existence in general, this movie does have a captivating energy to it that complements the designs well. The animation isn't stellar, but it does have real personality to it, so it doesn't matter a lick to me. But let's talk about the bad things now, and let me just say, I'm glad I found my noose. Now, I may have mentioned it earlier, but it's such a big problem that it bears repeating. If I had to sum up this movie in one word, it'd be this: disappointing. Not that my expectations were insanely high going into it, but I figured with a concept that had the potential to be not only hilarious, but insightful too, it wouldn't be a stretch to expect it to have a spark of brilliance. But unfortunately, that brilliance begins and ends with the concept, since the film putters around with such directionless abandon that it completely decapitates its own glorious prospects straight off its proverbial shoulders. To put it another way, this movie feels like the first act takes up 90% of the movie. Then suddenly, you're at the climax. The sudden surge towards the finale is so jarring that you may think you accidentally sat on the remote and skipped ahead by 30 minutes or something. Also, don't take this the wrong way, but I feel like this movie should be more grim than it is. Oh, it has its grim moments, certainly, but they're mostly swept under the blanket of comedy and jangled progression, so it's hard to grip onto something tangible here, making the whole experience miss out on what could have been an extremely interesting character study, had it been more focused. And would you guess by looking at this movie that it's a musical? Well, no, you wouldn't, but it is. The songs are fairly good. It's hard to tell since I don't speak French, but there are entirely too many songs. The songs just spring out of nowhere, like Jack in the Boxes or jump scares, and they never seem to gel well with the rest of the film, with the exception of the opening number. They're not bad songs, truthfully, but I don't know, they just never seem quite right to me. Finally, let me finish off where the movie finishes off, with the finale, which is, without spoiling too much, entirely tacked on. Just a complete and utter tonal shift from the rest of the experience. Now, I understand the need for happy resolutions in fiction, but I only tolerate it if it makes sense. Am I wrong in thinking that this film, which has a body count higher than your average retirement home, doesn't deserve a happy ending? That may sound petty and stupid, but if you actually watch the film, you'll probably be right there with me on that particular soapbox. Le Magasin des Suicides is like a glass bridge. Oh, sure, it looks pretty, and if you just walk across it without making too much of a fuss, you'll get across alright. But if you take even one step in the wrong place, you'll break apart the whole thing. And if that's a bit too metaphorical to you, then let's just say that this movie has an inherent charm and passion all throughout, but it can't seem to find a proper outlet for all its pent-up energy. It's a show pony of a concept that gets stuck at the starting gate, and it'll leave you cold and empty for more reasons than just one. I give Le Magasin de Suicide. Three eyes out of 5. So, Le Magasin de Suicide. Is it watchable? Well, yes. I personally enjoy the visual style quite a lot, but I have to admit it is an acquired taste. Is it enjoyable? Well, parts of it are, but I have to say it really does start to lose momentum by the end. Is it memorable? I have to say it's not. I mean, considering that this thing was a box office bomb and that it's never been localized into English, I have a feeling that the memories of this movie are currently dying inside everyone's heads. Now, speaking of that, if you'll excuse me...
16 tons, what do you get? Another day older and deeper in debt. St. Peter, don't you call me...
I give Les can't speak French. Look at that wee. Oh, you grumpy. Okay. Want to stay up to date with all the latest EyeofSol news? You can follow me on Twitter as well as on Facebook at twitter.com/EyeofSol299 and facebook.com/EyeofSol. I update them every day, so if you want to check out news on the show as well as updates, just follow the links here. Hey everybody, thanks for watching my review of The Suicide Shop. I really like it and I hope, I really apologize if I was pronouncing those words wrong. I speak Japanese but not French, so yeah, if you're French or you speak French, I really do apologize if I fucked that up. If you liked the review, I would appreciate a like and a share, as well as a subscription to my channel because I always really appreciate that. If you want to check out the previous Sol episodes, you can see the annotations playing on the video right now. Or if you want to check out my various social media sites, you can see my links to my Twitter page and my Facebook page there on the screen for you, as well as in the description. If you have an idea for an animated series or movie you want me to comment on, you can leave me a message in the YouTube comments on any one of my social media sites, or just let me know in any way you can think of to let me know what you want to see, and I'll add it to my list. Okay? Thanks again for watching everybody, and I will see you next week for another series review.